Welcome back, Ravens flock, to another episode of Ravens Across the Pond. Tonight, joining me, the usual suspects. Nathan, how are we, mate?
Yeah, good. Nice to see you hosting again.
Yeah, it's good. I'm not pissed, particularly on Pepsi Max. DT is back joining us. So DT is the guy who this week was projected to beat me in the Traitors Dynasty League. Ended up getting beat. I've overtook him in the league table now. Both on 3-1. How are we, DT?
Bloody fantastic. I feel good because I beat you. Well, I not beat you. I was beaten having reminded you to do your team. So it's an honourable loss.
Honourable, not at all. And you'll notice the main man, the one who brings such life to the show, he is back. He wasn't able to join us last week because he was at a Southwestern Wales Ravens meetup. So, Richard, welcome. How was the meetup?
Yeah, it was really good, thanks. It's always really nice to catch up with people, isn't it? It's great to be back tonight as well. I've got out of Harb's doghouse. That was quite challenging, but I've made it back.
Fair enough. So, obviously, before we crack on and discuss the Bengals game, I'm going to roll the introduction for the guys. Of course, the introduction done by the band that is Idle Vein. I don't remember anything of the last pod. Don't remember anything pretty much of Sunday. So, listeners, if they repeat anything that was discussed on Sunday, I apologise, but you're just going to have to fucking deal with it because I have to deal with the hangover on Monday. Thanksgiving week, so the Ravens play the Bengals. Now, this is a favourable matchup for Lamar Jackson. I'm just going to read through some stats that I came across today for Lamar Jackson. 203 out of 321 passing attempts, 63.2%. 2,472 yards, 22 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, a 104.5 QB rating, 129 carries, 778 rushing yards, averages out at 6 yards per carry, 2 rushing touchdowns, and a 10-1 record. Out of all that, my favourite one is that rushing touchdown. If you remember the commentary, they called him Houdini and he broke his ankles.
Oh, beautiful.
I think it's fair to say that Lamar Jackson has Cincinnati in his arse pocket. There is still issues that the Ravens obviously need to address coming off the back of that Jets game. Number one for me now is the offense because it was shocking yet again. Look, guys, what are we expecting from this Bengals game? I know the Bengals have got a few players out. T. Higgins, who else is out? Someone mentioned it before we went live. Nathan Hendrickson.
Trey Hendrickson, defensive end, yeah.
Yeah, Trey Henderson is out. As Nathan said before we went on, it is the only player on their team who can get a sack. So it does look good, but Joe Burrow's back. Jamar Chase is back after his spitting incidents. So yeah, I'll open the floor to discussion, guys. What are we looking at for this Bengals game?
Well, I'm giving thanks that we're not going to be subjected to a Joe Flacco revenge game this week. I honestly just think, although Burrow's back and he's probably absolutely ready to prove me wrong, that's quite a long layoff. Ravens are a tough game, I think, it's a tough divisional game after a long layoff. We've seen Sackle's defense getting into more disguised looks. The pass rush is potentially getting home a little bit more. The back end of the defense seems solidified compared to what it was early in the season. I think we're the better team. I think the biggest problem is ourselves. We did our best to lose last week in a game we should have easily won. I just think it's going to be, if the offense can get 25 points, I'm confident that we'll win the game.
I think it's a good point. I think it's stupid for them to get Burrow back in the game, to be honest. I think, well, I say it's stupid. Obviously, he's their franchise quarterback, but do they really think they're going to go on a run now and get to the playoffs? I don't necessarily see it. And I think with their O-line being as it is and our defense trending upwards, I think it's just negligence on their part to put Burrow back in it. He's going to end up being out again for the rest of the season after the game.
Are we in danger of seeing a potential false dawn from this game in regards to the O-line with, Hendrickson being out? Are we going to possibly come out of this game thinking, oh, problems are solved?
I pray for a false dawn. We've been hoping for a game where we look better than we are, and it just hasn't come at all. So, God, even if we can start talking about whether it is a true false dawn or not, I think that's a positive. So let's get to that stage first before we question whether it was a false positive. But
I'll take a
I've
light
not,
at the end of the tunnel at this stage.
yeah, I mean, I've not even got faith that they'll look good again tomorrow night or Friday morning, depending on what day we actually watch it. I mean, wouldn't you just, if it is a proper shutdown performance, which I think they need, because I don't think Lamar's trending in the right direction health-wise. I don't care what him or John Harbaugh say. They are the masters of hiding injury-related news, and he doesn't look to me like he's improving health-wise over the last couple of games. He looks more challenged every time I see him play. So the offensive line has to improve because someone will be getting pressure because those turnstiles at guard can't block anything. So
Well,
I would pray for a false dawn.
Lamar Jackson's running out of leg parts for them to designate as an injured at this point, going all the way down his leg. And I don't think we've got much room after his toe this week. So, there's not much more places for him to hide it.
Yeah, I did appreciate our resident comic Bristolian describing Lamar's injuries as head, shoulders, knees, and toes, and doing the actions as well.
When did he do the actions, did he? Have I missed this?
Well, may
Go on.
have done some embellishment, Tom. You can cut that one out because I think we just lost 10 listeners. No,
what for? I'm sure he pissed on a podcast.
No, I think for me, this is a real test for the O-line, isn't it? This is a historically bad Cincinnati defense. He can't seem to stop a child getting on there, getting in a. Oh, you know what? Fuck that. Cut that one out, Tom.
We don't make cuts. We don't make cuts.
That is absolutely staying in.
Can't stop a child doing what, Richard?
Yeah.
Can't stop a child entering a nightclub was what I was going for. It didn't roll off the tongue as well as Tom's.
You clearly didn't watch Sunday's recap if you think we make cuts to the podcast. We let Tom go completely unfiltered.
No, but anyway,
apart from the preview picture of him, which is heavily filtered.
The Bengals offense cannot stop anybody. So if they're able to get pressure on Lamar Jackson, then that tells us everything we need to know about the state of the O-line.
Well, yeah, especially with Trey Hendrickson out. So it should be an easier game for them. But then we've said that about the Jets, and we said that a couple of times this season. So we'll see. I think the real test isn't about whether they can do well in the run block. It's whether they can really kind of, well, in the run block even. So if they can really establish our rushing game better and create some better lanes, that's kind of the real test for me, is how much they can create in the offense rather than how much they can stop in their defense.
On the other side, I know Nathan kind of touched on it before about the Bengals making, is it realistically make a late run with Joe Burrow coming back? Is it with it being his first game back? Is it such a big boost for them? This kid is, there's probably no doubt in his talents when he's fit. Unfortunately, he's made out of sugar paper, isn't he? And I think coming back after so long out,
he wasn't exactly lighting the league on fire before he got injured. He'd only thrown 2 touchdowns. He only played for the first 2 games. I think people are forgetting how little he's played this year.
And this is what I mean. I don't think it's going to be an immediate impact, and hopefully the defense is all over them. There was a piece on the Ravens website today about how Kyle Hamilton has become the most versatile player in the NFL, according, obviously, whoever's wrote that for the Ravens. And I'd love to see Kyle Hamilton take Joe Burrow's head off.
It would be good. Although last week they didn't offer odds on a Hamilton sack, so I wasn't able to waste a tenner. But hopefully they do this week, and I can put that on. I think the two games that he did play, they did win them, didn't they? So I think that's 2 of their 3 victories. Was the first 2 games of the season.
Yeah,
I
but
think
one
they've
was
only
Cleveland, so it doesn't count.
that is true, and they only narrowly won that game. So, but then that's saying that they'd lost to the Jets during the time that he wasn't here, even though that was a high scoring game. So, I mean, I say that we nearly lost to the Jets, but hey,
I mean,
we
yeah,
didn't.
let's not pretend that, Cincinnati weren't putting out a viable offensive product while Joe Burrow was gone. I mean, Browning for like 2 or 3 games looked pretty decent before getting found out, and Joe Flacco was just heaving it to Higgins and Jamar Chase. So it wasn't like they were completely, strapped for ideas. Yes, their defense is just absolutely non-existent. And we're not going to see T. Higgins tonight, but how many times have we seen that Burrow to Jamar Chase connection just completely just break us down and just ruin our days? I've seen that deep ball happen far too often. So if that's not being checked, and I don't know how they're going to probably line this one up. I would expect double coverage because without Higgins, their other receiving options are Andre Yoshavas and whoever they roll out nowadays at tight end, which is Noah Fant, I believe. Is that
Noah
right?
I
fan.
think so.
It is Noah Fant,
Yeah.
yeah. So not exactly a game-breaking tight end there. So you probably can afford to at least put 2 on Jamar Chase, which is, I know we normally try and give Todd Monken advice on this pod, but he clearly doesn't listen. So let's try to go the other way and see if Zach wants to pay attention. But I'm sure he's doing that, and I'm sure he's lining up a lot of blitz packages to test out how mobile Joe Burrow even is. And we've not seen him. Turf toe is no laughing matter. I've seen photos of it. It looks disgusting.
What is turf toe?
It's like when your foot goes into the ground and it kind of goes backwards and causes the ligaments to all go.
There we go.
Oh. Nice one, Dr. Phil.
There we go. I think you're right, though. I think that defense is where it comes into play, and I think that double coverage will, combined with the pressure on Joe Burrow, will allow us to possibly get at least a couple of interceptions in this game. I can see.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of defense, in Madubuike's absence, I mean, hype up big Travis Jones, who seems to be, having a real breakout over the last 2 or 3 games in the middle of the defense, causing absolute havoc.
Although he was
I've been a big
limited
fan.
practice this week.
Sorry, DT?
I said Travis Jones is limited practice at the moment, so fingers crossed he's in.
Oh dear, oh no.
He didn't
Pissing
practice
all
yet.
over Thanksgiving's in it. Nathan's done it twice already about a couple of things. And you've pissed on Thanksgiving's in it.
I'm just making sure Rich is aware of what's happening. I don't want him to turn up to the game really excited to just watch his favourite man, Travis Jones, and not be able to see him on his screen.
What did
Well,
I do to
indeed.
upset Thanksgiving?
I don't know. I don't know. You said something.
Tom got
before.
drunk and flipped the table, probably.
I haven't even listened to that podcast. I'm scared. Do you know, like beer fear is real. I haven't even yeah.
We can just hope
I
that
don't
the
think
edit at least cut out some of your
I think-
under-breath burps.
The inspirational quotes as well.
Oh, the inspirational quotes were fantastic. I think we need more of those at least.
I thought that was the week episode. Fuck
I think you
sake.
did more.
I
didn't
thought
you?
that was the week before.
I think there was. If we did double, it's hard to remember.
Yeah, and
We're an
we weren't even
organised crew.
boozy. But no, I think going back to the Jones, the other Jones is going to shine as well. It's been a blessing to have some sacks coming from the team. 1.5 in the end of the last game. So I think seeing Trayvon Jones get another sack or 2 on Burrow would be quite delightful, as well as some green pressure
Well,
and
it's
some Hamilton magic.
as the less talented Jones brother, I thoroughly approve of their efforts.
You're triplet with them.
Yeah, Tremont Jones is only 1 sack away from being the sack leader on the Ravens, which is indicative of why we needed him in the first place.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So obviously we have mentioned a couple of times. It's Thanksgiving week. They're playing on Thanksgiving Thursday in America. Obviously, it's Friday morning, 1:20 UK time. DT came up with an idea before we go on air, and I've been thinking about this since he mentioned it, and I can't really think of a serious thing that I'm thankful for. So DT said, with it being Thanksgiving and our hundreds of American listeners, they would appreciate it if we would all say what we are thankful for this year from the Ravens, or who we are thankful for. So while I am still trying to figure out who or what exactly I am thankful for with them, because I'm not thankful for the manic depression that they've caused through 80% of this season. I shall pass it on to you guys to what are we thankful for? Richard, don't say John Harbaugh or mention drinks with Jim Harbaugh. Let's, mix this up.
Honestly, the thought had never crossed my mind.
There's two big things this season that I'm thankful for. One is going to be the reaction to the struggles we had in defense to bring Gilman in, which allowed Hamilton to be the absolute beast that he is. I think that in itself was probably the biggest moment of our season. The most defining moment was that trade to bring Gilman in to allow Hamilton to actually just be that person that can be so versatile and be that Swiss Army knife. So I think that is one thing that I'm particularly thankful for. And I think the other thing I'm going to say is not one you necessarily hear about too much apart from the last game, but Jordan Stout this season has been fantastic. I don't think he's put a foot wrong, no pun intended, as a kicker, or a punter. But he's punter's a kicker, same thing. He
would be called a kicker then, wouldn't he? His position's called a punter. Like if we're,
it's a
we
punt
could
kicker.
save ourselves a roster spot if they're the same thing.
It's a punt kicker. It's a type of kicker.
That's shocking.
But I think he this season his punts have been incredible. Set the franchise or tied the franchise record last game. That incredible one right at the end, the 64 whatever or 67 yarder it was actually, because he made a point of being down with the kids and referring to it as a 6-7 yarder was the thing on social media, and I really hate myself for saying that just now.
I bollock the youngest for doing that. Like, it drives me insane. Don't even know what the fuck it means, but it pisses me off.
It. Look forward to sending this clip of me to him. But I think Jordan Stout as well, very thankful for him saving our asses with some pinning in deep. And with that, on to Richard.
Yes,
I knew that was coming. Oh, just with that choice of words, pinning deep. I knew it was getting passed on to Richard. Come on, Dickie.
Yeah, no, I'm really thankful once again, and I appreciate that we can, talk about are the guards up to scratch on the O-line. I'm just really thankful that once again we appear to be one of the better run franchises in the league, from back office to front office. Some of our draft picks and UDFAs are already showing up. So it looks like we might have a really good class on our hands, as we've kind of come to expect. Just thankful that we're not a dumpster fire like some of the other franchises, Cleveland Browns, or the Dolphins, who are a bit shambolic at the moment. Like, just it's so nice to watch a team that is competent.
So are you saying the team are competent, or are you saying the back office and front office are competent?
Okay, I'm going to say the organization as a whole is competent.
I was going to say, who was the team? How drunk were you at the Bristol meet watching the Ravens in the last game?
He must have been drunker than I was. It must have been drunker than I was when I jumped on this pod.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what? We all know that wasn't the best game, but that we always play down to the Browns, so at least we got the win.
It was the Jets.
You should have the press the week before.
Okay, I did have a few siders.
Rich was there for a whole week just waiting for in between
There was
games.
a Browns week earlier. Oh no!
What side was it, Richard? Dickens or Cummins?
I was saying, this is where my brain is tonight. Got out the kids' GCSE mock grades I've got to mark.
Wow, yeah. I will agree with you on going back to the talk on the draft picks. I think that is something to be thankful for. I think standout for me from this year's class is probably the UK announcement, Teddy Buchanan. I
love that.
He's been an absolute great value pick. He's been a beast.
Well, considering he's the inside linebacker too. He plays on all of the special teams. Just you can't expect that from a 4th round pick. Like, he is way ahead of the curve, and hopefully he's got that ceiling to keep growing.
Go ahead, Nate.
Absolutely.
I'm thankful for No, I'm not even going to joke on that one. I'm thankful for Snoop Huntley, because I think that win against Chicago is we're gonna look back on that game against the Bears and we're gonna think of that being a very pivotal win. I wouldn't even be surprised if it's the win that takes us over the Steelers in the final standings. Cooper Rush obviously did not do his job when Lamar was out. Snoop came in. I know he didn't get the first one, but that game against the Bears was it was just class from him. Like, people weren't expecting much, but he got it over the line. And I think come the end of the season, we're all going to be very thankful that we're currently 6-5 today rather than 5-6. So yeah, I'm thankful for Stoop.
For sure.
Fair enough. I don't like stating the obvious. Obviously, number one, Lamar Jackson. With Richard's comment saying it, we're competent. I just dread to think how shit it would have been if Lamar Jackson was out for longer than what he was. Like, we wouldn't be having this conversation now. It'd be a lot more depressing. I mean, it has been depressing at times, this podcast. Like, even after like the 5 wins on the bounce, it's been a struggle. Like going to the dentist and getting your wisdom tooth taken out without having a general anaesthetic, and then they give you vinegar to rinse your mouth out with. That's how painful it's been at times. The other thing I'm thankful for, and I suppose, it's all because of the Ravens. Is this that we've got going on twice a week? The little, why are you sniggering there? His lips are twitching like a rabbit's nose there, Nathan.
I was going to say you're not going to get any sentiment out of me, but the sentiment that came out of my mouth was laughter rather than you soppy prick.
No, do you know what I mean? I'm not going to do a Halle Berry and start crying, getting an award. Fucking hell.
You can if you like.
Anyone got a guitar? We can all sing Kumbaya.
It's a safe space.
You know what? Fuck yeah, I'm not thankful for it. I'm not thankful for it at all. You're all a gang of knobheads. No, genuinely though, like this thing that we do twice a week now, the community that we're building on WhatsApp, all the listeners who've tuned in, the viewers on YouTube, who I owe an apology to, Sunday's episode hasn't gone out, mainly out of fear that when I upload it onto YouTube, it plays in the background and I don't know how to stop that, so I don't want to listen to the thing. So yeah, just thankful for that. Obviously, if it weren't for all yous and everyone who's been on, Kevin Ostriker, Nick Mason, the British Raven,
Phil.
Oh man, fucking hell! Gotta get there in the end. It's not the King's Speech. I've got to stutter. Trying to get there. Colin Firth.
Richard jumped in less than a second.
No, he was struggling.
Do you have to think? I think that was just your internet, Rich. I tried to think what this bloody school kids go through.
That was a premature jump there, wasn't it, Rich? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Richard asked his students a question, and he jumps in before he's even finished his own question to slap them for not answering.
Wrong.
Has anyone got a yellow flag?
Yeah, someone throws.
Yeah, and obviously, our man. I was saving Phil. I was saving the best till last because a couple of listeners had commented on a few things, asking when Phil's back on. So Phil's coming on next Thursday's record. Just goes a few things about the Ravens coming up in the off season. But yeah, I'm just thankful for everyone. Nathan, thank you very much for fucking laughing at the middle of that. I'm doing it. Richard, thank you very much for the premature ejection there of words.
And shout out to Dan's
kind of kill me vibe. Yeah. Oh yeah, Dan's eye. The Yorkshire.
See, Richard, that's how you jump in, and you give him plenty of time to get his answer out, and then mention something.
Yeah. So that's what we're thankful for. Ravens Bengals score predictions. Then, as we know, this is probably our worst segment of the podcast because not one of us has ever. I had us been in 44-10 or 44-13, I think, against the Jets. Couldn't have been further away from the truth there. So I'll start off with you, Dickie.
I'm going to go 29-17. 22 Ravens.
Competent win then.
Competent, nothing extravagant, merely competent.
DC?
I'm going 31-17. I think we can do a number over their defense. I think we panic Burrow. They'll probably still get a couple of nice throws down, maybe a couple of touchdowns and a field goal. But I think overall we'll feel good about it at the end, and we'll feel like the last two results are way behind us. Well, not the results, the performances, contrary to Richard's belief, apparently. And onwards we go to destroy the Steelers.
There's only a field goal in it for me. I'm going to go 27-24 Ravens.
Fair enough. I'm gonna go 31-17. I think not necessarily. I think something will click with the run game. I think if they want to get Lamar, I mean, there's different ways. There's various ways you can protect the quarterback. Obviously, you can't rely on like auto line, like that far apart. Like Daniel Falele couldn't catch a pig in an entry, so I'm not expecting him to protect the quarterback. Like it's shocking. It's shambles. It's piss poor. It's mediocre. But if they can figure something out with the run game and try and run the ball more efficiently, give Lamar a bit more of a chance and just ease the pressure on him. I think that they could figure something out. I'll have Derrick Henry 2 rushing touchdowns. My bold take for the game is.
Oh, we're not bringing this back, are we?
I think Kyle Hamilton and Mike Green both have multi-sack game.
Love that. Do we think
Nice.
we've spoken a lot about the guards tonight, as I'm sure everyone who cares about the Ravens is speaking about the guards. Do we think we're going to see an Emory Jones sighting this week? Obviously, he's had a few weeks now back at practice. It appears he's already supplanted Ben Cleveland as the primary backup. Cleveland being inactive last week. Do we think that we could see him on the field at any point? They obviously drafted him in the 3rd. You'd expect those guys to contribute.
I better hope that's your bold prediction, because otherwise you just interrupted what was going to be the bold prediction segment. And we had a sponsor for that as well. No, dear.
Oh, Rich. No. So that's Rich's bold prediction, is that we'll see an Emory Jones.
It has to be now. He said it.
Excellent.
I don't think so. I think they're sticking with their guys no matter how bad it gets. Harbaugh seems to do that. So, my bold prediction will be the 2 quarterbacks that start this game will not be the 2 quarterbacks that finish this game. And that spreads.
You think both will be replaced?
That's all a little bit Victor Crumb will catch a snitch, but Ireland will win the World Cup.
Hey, it's not called normal predictions, Rich.
It's not going to be Wales, is it?
Well, his normal prediction was a 3-point game, and if that's the case and they're removing quarterbacks, then it's something really, really goes. That's
I'm not saying there's crossover between those two.
For me, bold prediction is I think Burrow has an absolute howler. I think he throws 3 interceptions. One of them is a pick 6.
And you know what number Joe Burrow wears? 9.
Oh, there we go. Another 9 going to be turning into a 6.
6, 7. Oh, why have I just done that?
Yeah, Tom.
No, we're done.
Just to clarify as well, on the predictions, I'm pretty sure Tom and I had the same prediction. That was correct, right? We both said 31-17.
Did we?
I think so. Which, I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure I said that.
I definitely heard DT. You definitely both said 17. I'm unsure what
I think we said 31, which, if that's the case, then it's an omen. And I wanted to make that clear, because otherwise what will happen is it will finish 31-17, and Tom will just clip up his part as the Messiah and completely ignore my part. So,
well,
is that a double now?
It's all fair.
Double Messiah.
All is fair in love and war, do you know what I mean? I might even throw you on a thumbnail again this week and get that 80s porn star tash back on it.
Well, that'd be good. The last one looked like the 3rd Mario Luigi brother, so hopefully with a cat backwards now, it's a little bit cooler.
Definitely not Cooler.
It's
More on Jeremy than Ron Burgundy.
Now is the time in this podcast where we move on to Nathan's got 2 segments this week. Last week he did a
thanks,
football,
Rich.
football on the build up to the World Cup. But before we get to the football that Richard was meant to be doing, but he bailed out at some point this afternoon and left Nathan knee deep in shit to do it. It's time for Nathan's favourite segment of the week. He's on a good run of form at the moment, is Nathan, in the Taters Dynasty League. What are you now, 2-2?
Absolute cheater overall as well. I went 11-2 this week across all my leagues.
Nathan, it looks like Richard's just gone to have a word with himself because he's had 4 cock-ups already and we're only half an hour through this podcast. So it's time to take a seat and listen to Nathan's fantasy flock up this week. Predict top 5.
Oh, have a sit down, everyone. Get over all those mistakes, because these were 5 people that didn't make any mistakes this week. Coming in at 5, Hunter Henry, a season-high 115 yards, as Drake May's favourite security blanket gets 7 receptions and a touchdown. In a season where tight ends are either dropping like flies or just not getting the job done, Hunter Henry's resurgence and consistency is a welcome sight in New England. Coming in at number 4, is there a wide receiver 1 controversy in Dallas? George Pickens, former Steeler, has scored 29 points in his last 2 games and is showing a lot more reliability than CeeDee Lamb at the moment. The only question is, the Cowboys traded for him. Can they afford to keep him in the offseason? I'm not sure. Jerry Jones can probably find the money, but probably say he weren't worth it. Coming in at number 3, a day to remember for Jameis Winston. It was a losing effort, but he showed us exactly why he was the only quarterback in history to throw for 30 touchdowns and 30 picks. Oh, what a man. He also managed to get a receiving touchdown, and if you know me, I love it when non-wide receivers or running backs get receiving touchdowns. So good for Jameis Winston in ultimate what was a losing effort. And who did they lose to? The Detroit Lions. The first of 2 Detroit Lions on the list this week. Players continue to feast on that poor Giants defense. The Sun God, 149 yards and a touchdown on 9 receptions. He continues to be an absolute model of consistency for fantasy owners as he jumps up to the wide receiver 3 on the year. And then we have our very first 50 burger of the year. Jahmyr Gibbs goes for 250 total yards and 3 touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 1 through the air. Jahmyr Gibbs has only scored 2 games this year where he has under 10 points. He is the running back 3 on the year, and it's not very often you get to see 55.4 points scored in a game. So if you started Jahmyr Gibbs, didn't see that part of the graphic. That's fun. Look at that. Oh, yeah, if you started Jahmyr Gibbs, fantastic. Whoa, look at this. Ollie, you have outdone yourself. I didn't even get to this far at the end, but Ollie himself gets a ballman.
He must have known with the explosions there of confetti and fireworks that there was going to be a kind of a premature explosion theme to the pod, knowing that he was getting back on the show.
Yeah, we need to get him back and do some predictions. He's the only one that seems to be able to do them properly.
Well, that's it. On Jahmyr Gibbs, when they drafted him, there was a lot of conversation around it being a ridiculous pick. 12th in the first round, 12th overall for a running back. Was lots of people were saying how insane that was, how it was a wasted pick. Pretty sure they're pretty silenced now. I mean, fair play to him. He's done everything since he's been drafted, really, isn't he?
He's insane. Sticking with running backs, are we seeing the decline of Saquon Barkley this year?
There does tend to be a stat that's thrown around where if you have a certain amount of rushing attempts the previous year, the next year you do tend to fall off a little bit. I'm not sure whether we're seeing that or whether we're just seeing minor ineptitude from the Eagles offense. They are not performing like an offense that's kind of doing what we expect them to do. Great.
Someone needs to answer the door.
Nathan's been safe for the bell there, apparently.
I was batting a perfect game as well.
Oh.
Hey Nathan, is that your Domino's? Because I didn't know whether you know if you get a Domino's ordered, and when you open the door, if you go to the driver, Domino, you get 50% off your order back.
There's
So
no way
order a
that's
Domino.
true.
Just give it a
Just want
try,
you
or
to do
get the missus to do it and record it. We can throw that
Oh.
on TikTok.
Failing to
did
get
feel sorry.
50% off.
Yours would
I
probably
did feel
believe you,
sorry.
right, Tom?
Yeah, almost definitely, almost fucking definitely.
Tom's got
I
a
could
Domino's
ju-
black card, the amount he orders.
Nah, I should have a Mackey's one though. Hey, talking breaking news. Double big tasty.
There we go. Huge.
Yeah.
Right,
Easy
well,
touch with them
So
away
sorry
to
to anyone wanting to hear in-depth analysis about Saquon Barkley. We've moved on.
I'll
I'll tell you what,
far-
I
in-
wonder. He would have been
in-depth
picked quite
analysis
high.
of the in-depth analysis of the McDonald's Grinch menu that's just dropped today.
other food franchises exist.
No, they're not. They want to sponsor us. Go on, McDonald's.
Yeah.
We'll big you up if you want.
The golden arches, Richard. Your receding hairline looks like the McDonald's golden arches, mate. So it'd be a decent little. Do you know what I mean? Clinging on for dear life, that
Well,
innit?
it's all very easy, isn't it? When you
that'll come off
yours
in a
up,
gale.
when you go with your hat of choice every week.
Miami Hurricanes. The 9-2 Miami Hurricanes.
Thanks,
There
mate.
you go.
Can be known.
It looks
The
like
alma
it's-
mater, the alma mater of such Ravens legends as Ray Lewis. I forgot his fucking name. Oh my god, I fucked that up. Oh,
Welcome to Ravens Across the Pond. We're going to start again. In
what's
4.
what's his name, Nathan? What's his
Who?
name? Ed Reed.
Oh, Ed Reed,
How
yeah.
could I
There you
forget Ed
go.
Reed? Yeah. Sorry.
What's his
Phil,
name?
Sorry.
You know, him.
The jersey I'm wearing.
Oh, there you go.
Phil. Sorry, I know you'll be. I know you'll be listening to this, and you'll be cringing that I've fucked up a college alma mater and player, and just brain
Oh,
fog.
So what was
Brain
DT, for
fog.
Christ's sake.
are we just
Just seen
saying?
the
What's he
photo.
done? What's
Never
he
seen the
done here? Jesus. That's DT. You should put just for context for the listeners. DT, you should put a message in the podcast chat. He's very apt. He's got a.
Right, well,
There it is.
you know what? I think
He's very apt at creating pictures. There's numerous ones doing the rounds.
I reckon that's the
Jesus.
actual colour match as well. So the Golden Arches. I
Probably
think
not
it's done
far
very
off.
well
I
there.
reckon we can get that as the pod preview picture this week. Is
absolutely.
Rich as the
not.
Golden Arches.
I think we should review the banter policy, and you lot all owe me a payoff for destroying my mental health with your bullying.
No one has ever got in trouble for banter before, Richard. Come on, mate.
Exactly. Who would do such a
It's just-
thing?
Today's podcast has to be called I'm Loving It, otherwise I'm not featuring again.
Rich is loving it.
Something that viewers and listeners were loving it last week was the ex-football collaboration that we did. Lots of people wanted to see more of them. So obviously, I said before, it was meant to be Richard's turn. He's busy being a history teacher. So he says, we don't actually know what he does for a living. Rumour is that he is a history teacher. He's missed the last couple of podcasts because he's got copious amounts of marking to do.
I've
And
got
then
a
couple
cheeky,
of nights later shows us that he's actually doing the marking that was meant for the Sunday when he was meant to do a pod record. I'm not bitter. I don't hold a grudge.
I got a cheeky sideline in geography as well.
You got a
hustle
cheeky
in
bit on the
geography.
side.
Who was that geography teacher in the in-betweeners?
Mr. Gilbert.
Mr. Gilbert,
No,
he
no,
was
No,
the
no,
head
that-
that's
teacher.
that's a head teacher.
Yeah.
I don't
I remember
I
that
don't
geography
have I
teacher.
don't have leather arm patches.
Don't know.
You
Do
do.
wear,
That's
do
more
you wear
Mr.
a
Bean.
cardigan to school though, don't you?
Oh no, I'm 100% a suit teacher.
Oh.
I'm not
Nice
one of
whistle
those.
and
I'm
fluff.
not one of those jumper type teachers. Sod that for a laugh.
There you go.
Any teachers listening to us, sorry about that. Richard,
But
the
you've
king
got a
of
lovely
fashion,
tie
clearly.
collection.
We can
Richard's
ask
definitely
Phil.
got
Phil's a teacher. We'll see what clever he puts
Oh,
on.
Phil absolutely strikes me as a suit teacher.
Did I,
There you go.
did I with a crimson tide tie. That was a bit of a tongue twister. That crimson tide tie.
We'll have to see.
Yeah, I reckon we'll have to get him. That'll be the breaking news when he comes on the pod, is the teacher outfit reveal.
Mm.
Not that I'm expecting him to wear it.
We do
we'll
need
ask him that
Phil
on
back on
Thursday.
here to get some discipline back in the pod.
We've
guys.
literally said about half an hour ago, Richard, that he's coming back on. God, for goodness sake.
Remember that bit where that segment where you prematurely
introduced
ejaculated all over the podcast and said, Phil, and I was like, I was getting to that point, and yeah, cover your face, still see them golden arches.
Well, anyway,
Can
now
I
that
do
Richard's
my
been
can I
introduced,
do
we
my
can-
football team now, please?
Yeah, so I was
let's
just about to
on
get
with it.
there. So World Cup next year in 2026. England are there. Wales aren't going to be there.
Not
So
nibbling.
it was Nathan's turn this week. So without further ado, Nathan, take it away and talk us through your NFL Soccer 11.
Wow. So I'll give you a bit of background to what my thought process about this team is going to be. I am going proper long ball Brexit football, which with a reliance on set pieces to score goals. So if you want some interesting play calls, who do you want as your manager? The guy setting up some fun play designs. We're taking Ben Johnson. The guy that cut his teeth at Detroit came up with some of the more interesting plays. I think the fumble one with Jared Goff a couple of years ago was a prime example of what he's got in his back pocket. I think he'd come up with some really fun corners, free kick tactics. So that's why I've gone with Ben Johnson. I think he can really kind of get this style of play over the line. And then the rest of it is you're either hard hitting or you're speedy. So in goal, I've gone with Kelvin Johnson. I know you put him on the wing, but I want a goalkeeper that can catch anything. And this man has one of the widest catch radiuses in the NFL. He's going to save everything. He's going to get his fingers to it. There's nothing getting past him in goal. And there's not going to be any shots because I've got two of the potentially hardest people in the NFL today as my centre backs. They had to be over 6'5". That was my requirement. We're going to be strong going into corners. Max Crosby is an absolute unit. Micah Parsons is another bloke that you wouldn't want to see on the other side of a road, calling you out for a fight. I've gone very, very strong centre defence. You ain't beating those two. As my fullbacks, I've gone for great coverage, but also incredible stamina. These guys need to be able to run for days. So I've gone for Revis and Sherman. I believe you also had Sherman in your right back spot. So we've got a bit of a connective tissue there. I completely agree. I think corners are the way to go on the fullback positions. They'll be bombing up and down, helping out the wing backs and bypassing the midfield, because this midfield is designed to do nothing other than get turnovers and just attack. We have got Ed Reed, Myles Garrett, and Troy Polamalu. I don't know whether they'd actually get on very well as a centre three, given that they all come from the same division for competing teams, but we'll try and make it work. Obviously, Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu have famous, incredible turnover machines at the safety position. So they'll be there getting the ball back, recycling the ball. And then Myles Garrett is just there to just put pressure on everyone. The man can just apply needless amounts of pressure. I know DT is probably already going to say that we'll be able to, his team will be able to stop him getting the pressures, but absolute no chance. This midfield three are going to cause absolute chaos. And
DT will say that and then give up 6 goals from midfield before half time. Kind of like a bog standard Saturday watching Cardiff.
Yeah, that Daniel Fellaini in defence, don't you worry, mate.
And what are we doing? How are we scoring our goals? Well, we're going to be a little bit of a long ball football. And what do you need when you're playing long football? You need 2 speed demons on the wings who can also run incredible routes. So I've gone with Tyreek Hill and Shady McCoy. Well, now these two are probably some of the fastest and best route runners, especially on the deep ball in the NFL. Tyreek Hill was an obvious pick. I dug down the well, and Shady McCoy, I think, is just a perfect fit into this system. They're going to be able to run some interesting routes, maybe just run distraction plays when we're hitting those long balls in. So Max and
Tyreek Hill ain't running any interesting routes at this moment in time.
Yeah, but this is as of prime. I don't think Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu are going to be particularly useful right now in centre defence, but God, you had some.
That's
you had
because you got
Deion
him in
Sanders,
midfield, mate.
and then if nothing else, what does a great team need up front? They need an absolute poacher of a goal scorer. And this man in 2023 for the Baltimore Ravens was the epitome of a touchdown vulture, a poacher. I believe all of his touchdowns came within less than 10-yard runs. The majority, I think, came inside the 5. Gus the Bus Edwards is the ultimate NFL poacher and will be tapping goals in for fun. The approach will just be get it in the mixer, get it in that 5-yard box, and let the bus just tap it in. And that's how we're doing it. We're playing long ball Brexit football with some interesting free kick corner strategies, which Ben Johnson will fire up for us. And we'll just see where we go. And if it all goes wrong, look at that back line and look at those 3 centre mids. No team's getting past that.
I'm expecting some good lateral balls from Ed Reed to Tyreek Hill there. Across the pitch.
Yes. Yes, Richard.
Apparently not. Apparently not.
I was just like, when you said lateral balls, I was trying to stop myself.
Richard is like Richard Ioane in IT crowd when he goes and watch football.
Well,
It just
Ed
come out
Reed,
with-
famous for the lateral. But come on, that was a slam dunk.
Did you see that ludicrous display last night?
Richard
Yeah, well-
slam dunks basketball, mate, not football.
You
Come
have to understand. I'm doing this next week, and I don't watch European football, so it could be absolute carnage. I want
never have
to
guessed.
I want to do a rugby team, but that's not going to be allowed. So it's anyone's guess what I'm going to come up with next week.
The problem
mean-
with Arsenal is they always try to pass it in.
Did you see that ludicrous display?
I
mean,
may
the
have to
issue
jump
that-
you for next week, to be fair, because the following week I have a baby due. So it may be that I have to do next week, as there may not be an appearance for me the week after. We'll see.
All right, fair enough. Although I don't know
So
why
you've got
you
more
think,
time to watch the football.
I don't know why you think you're doing the hard work on the baby.
The issue we have now coming up, Nathan, is
You're a history teacher, not a science teacher, Rich.
we've got. Fucking hell, who's keeps jumping in on me? The issue that we have now, fuck, it's starting to piss me right off.
Have a beer,
Nathan
calm down.
is the next 2
Don't
up.
poke the bear.
The next 2 up are Welshmen. Richard said he wants to do a rugby team. Not exactly setting the world alight, are they, in rugby union, and DT wants to do his football team. So it's going to be interesting trying to take football and rugby advice off to a minority nation in both of them sports.
I expect both of them are going to try and somehow involve Lewis Rees-Zammit in their lineups, despite the fact that he never played a
Well,
professional
spoiler
snap.
alerts, please. Come on.
Yeah, see, it's a given, and it's an absolute given. Yeah, I think like we are very much nearly done. Anything else before we wrap up?
No,
No.
I've got a pizza that's getting cold.
There you go.
See, was it Tom House?
It was, yeah.
Right.
Be good to know.
Well,
Be good to see some things from practice today to see who's back in full practice. I will say
Yeah.
the one thing we didn't speak about, which I mentioned on the earlier pod, is that Rashad Bateman is back practicing, albeit limited. It'd be good to get him back in, so we've got a bit of a deep threat to draw some eyes at the very least.
Deep threat music to Richard's ears. A deep
Hold on,
threat.
have we ticked off everything? Oh, yeah. Get Keaton Mitchell involved.
Keaton Mitchell does need to get involved. That's what we're going to see.
well,
Red Zone struggles, sort them out. Yeah. Look, guys, thank you very
Hurricane.
much.
well, thank you.
It's been absolute. Shut up! It's been absolute fucking chaos. Yes, again.
Richard's loving it.
Yeah,
And that's what I'm
fuck.
thankful for.
Right, wrapping up the pod. I've been Thomas. They've been Nathan, DT, and Richard. Together, we have been Ravens Across the Pond, brought to you by the Across the Pond Sports Network. We'll catch you on the next one. See you later, guys.
See ya.
Cheers.
See you later, gang.
Bye.